And who will believe a group of women over a man's word?
Perhaps no one. But they will if Lady Whistledown does. So we shall do what women do.
That's my girl.
We shall talk.
While A Bridgerton dazzles with its steamy romances and grand love stories, it also excels at portraying heartfelt, platonic love, particularly among the Bridgerton sisters. This video highlights 7 tender moments that showcase the supportive bond between Daphne, Eloise, Francesca, Hyacinth, and their newly minted sisters, proving that familial love can be just as moving as romantic affection. From Eloise's silent solidarity during Daphne's awkward courtship with Lord Berbrooke to Hyacinth's effusive embrace of Penelope as her new sister-in-law, these scenes remind us of the strength, kindness, and unspoken understanding that define sisterhood. Whether it's offering reassurance, covering for each other, or embarking on new adventures together, the Bridgerton sisters exemplify love in all its forms. These cherished moments will pull at your heartstrings and reaffirm that family truly is everything. Celebrating the Bridgerton love, the Bridgerton sisters. The Bridgerton sisterhood captures just what it means to be loved. Here are 7 moments that will surely pull at your heartstrings. Yes, of course, Bridgerton is a dreamy, sudsy romance, chock full of all the happily ever afters, steamy hookups, and people saying they burn for each other you could want. While romantic love is generally the reason people find their way to the series, it's not the only example of love going on in Mayfair. Bridgerton excels at portrayals of platonic love too. From BFFs Penelope and Eloise to Violet's loving, albeit sometimes complicated relationships with each of her children, the series doesn't hesitate to shine a light on these other types of relationships with just as much care and flair as the romantic ones. While everyone has their favorite platonic Bridgerton relationships, we want to highlight 3 that make the top of our list. First up, the Bridgerton sisters. Sure, the Bridgerton brothers get a lot of screen time and clearly have fostered real friendships with one another, and while their female counterparts may not spend as much time as a unit as the boys do, it's quite obvious that Daphne, Eloise, Francesca, Hyacinth, and maybe a couple of newly minted sisters care deeply for one another. We have the proof. Here are 7 times the Bridgerton girls showed off that heartfelt, supportive bond that only comes with true sisterhood. Eloise tries to save Daphne from Lord Berbrooke's courting call. Season 1, Episode 1, Diamond of the First Water. When Lord Nigel Berbrooke comes calling for Daphne, and Violet has little to no qualms about making her daughter take his visit seriously, she's a stickler for protocol. What can we say? Daphne does what so many of us would do, she reaches out for her sister's hand, begging her to stay by her side with one small gesture. It's safety in numbers, it's sisterly solidarity, it's not leaving any woman alone with a garbage human. Eloise picks up that sign immediately. Sure, a part of Eloise wants to stay in the drawing room with Daphne and Nigel simply for her own entertainment, who amongst us would not want to witness that train wreck? But mostly, she wants to stick with her sister because it is the supportive thing to do. Violet doesn't allow Eloise to stay, but Elle does seem genuinely sorry to leave Daphne alone with that creep. Daphne and Eloise say goodbye. Season 1, Episode 5, The Duke and I. Daphne and Eloise will never be best friends, but they are forever and always sisters, and that means something to both of them. It wasn't that long ago that Eloise told Daphne she's so grateful to be nothing like her sister, and yet here they are, recognizing how bittersweet it is that Daph, now a duchess, is moving away to start her new life. You couldn't imagine a lovelier goodbye between the two than Daphne giving Eloise her bedroom and telling her, I know we could not be more different, but there is one thing we share, the certainty that you will make your own way in this world. I am sure of it, Eloise. Even Eloise gets a little teary-eyed over that one. Daphne lets Eloise skip the party and live her life. Season 1, Episode 8, After the Rain. Season 1 of Bridgerton reminds us again and again that Daphne and Eloise are polar opposites, but that makes their moments of tenderness toward each other all the more meaningful. Take this scene in the season finale when Daphne gets one look at her sister all dolled up for her first official ball. Violet tells her reluctant daughter to think of it as a rehearsal for next season, and pulls her aside to first tell her how beautiful she looks and then assure Eloise she'll cover for her if she just wants to sneak off to the library for the rest of the night. It's sort of like when you want to stay out past curfew and your sister makes sure your parents think you're tucked safely in bed, but, like, a much nerdier version of that scenario. The Bridgerton sisters attempt to keep Eloise calm ahead of her debut. Season 2, Episode 1, Capital R Rake. Attempt is the key word here. No one is actually going to ease Eloise's anxiety about coming out in society, but it's nice to see she has a carriage full of sisters who genuinely want to try. Daphne offers advice from her own experience and even tries to gas her up, "You have natural gifts." While Hyacinth remains positive and supportive, and Francesca takes to fanning her very sweaty, very stressed sister. None of it works. The only thing Eloise wants is an escape plan, but even in the Regency era, it's the thought that counts. Hyacinth remains the best of us. Season 3, Episode 5, Tick-Tock. In a world where every other Bridgerton sibling seems to be angsting 24/7, Hyacinth remains a bright ball of light. There are a whole host of moments when Hyacinth proves to be the kindest, most supportive sister, but perhaps the most moving is in Season 3 when Colin announces that he and Penelope are engaged, a surprise to everyone, including the betrothed, and Hyacinth's immediate reaction is to run over to Pen, her new sister-to-be, and wrap her up in the warmest, most welcoming hug. She isn't embarrassed about her effusiveness either, she simply cannot believe her good fortune to have this woman she's known for most of her life officially become a part of her family. She doesn't know it at the time, but wow, does Penelope really need to feel so unconditionally loved by a Bridgerton sister? Everyone needs a Hyacinth. Kate Sharma Bridgerton knocks the eldest sister role out of the park. Season 3, Episode 5, Tick-Tock. Kate and Eloise bonded over spinsterhood and misogyny before they were sisters, and it's nice to see that connection only grows stronger once Kate becomes an official member of the family. She's had lots of practice as the oldest sister and flexes those muscles once again when she catches Eloise brooding over Colin and Penelope's engagement. In a testament to their kinship, Eloise admits to Kate that it's not just the tension with Penelope that's bothering her but also the fact that Colin, someone she thought she was close with, kept his feelings for her best friend a secret from her, and if she's being honest, the fear that two of her favorite people in the world are pairing off and leaving her behind. Kate's advice is simple but true: family is everything. You must talk to Colin, tell him how you are feeling. In the quiet way Eloise thanks her sister, you can tell she's beyond grateful to have that kind of support so close to home. Eloise and Francesca head off on a new adventure together. Season 3, Episode 8, Into the Light. Eloise and Francesca Bridgerton may not seem like the most obvious pairing, but perhaps it is because of the fact that the two sisters are, in their own ways, the most different from the Bridgerton family at large that helps them bond. By the end of Season 3, we get this short scene that recognizes how much the two see each other. Eloise so desperately wants to get out into the world and knows she can do so by moving to Scotland with Francesca and John Sterling, but when she makes that ask, she makes sure to add that she will give Francesca as much space as she needs. Francesca, we know, thrives while on her own but can see how much Eloise needs this. Of course, she says yes. The two women know exactly what the other needs and have a mutual respect because of it. And dare I say, don't they get a bit giggly once they agree to go off on these big adventures together? I mean, don't tell Eloise I ever described her that way, but it's the truth, and it's a lovely one at that.